Take 1, 2, lights, camera. Ke load shedding. So this is what was supposed to happen. This is what was supposed to happen, but we are currently load shed. Yeah. Anyway, there's not even light in my room, so you guys, I don't know. Um, yeah. Uh, Thank you. Have a lovely good night. But I wanted to have a conversation with Sir George at Mokoena. Guys, when the sun shines, it's light forever. You know, there's nothing I can do. Like, you guys can't see me. I can see that one person is watching. And like, literally, this is the best day of my life. I'm supposed to have a live shit. I'm supposed to have a, what do you call it, a live session. And now it's dark in the room. There's no light, nothing. It's dark. And there was no, yeah, no. I even checked the schedule to see if we are not going to have load shedding tonight. And we didn't have load. Danko Ramaphosa! George, you know what? How about we have this live while you are in the dark and while you are in the light and I'm in the dark? Because clearly people know my face, but they need to know you. Like, can we just because what the hell? Like, literally, I just went live and then this is what happened. Yo, what are we gonna do as a country, man? Where are we going? George, can you join? Are you able to join? Guys, I'm shook. Can you please let me actually add you? Because this is about to be so interesting. Like, we're literally living in the kingdom of darkness, hey? In South Africa, we're living in the kingdom of darkness. Where Buffett? Kind of how do we add a person to a life? Join. Are you able to join? I'm trying to add you here. I forgot the setting for adding. Or kinda how do you do it? Yeah. Yeah, no, Ramaphosa. This is a very beautiful country, trust me. You have such a very beautiful country going on, you know, the vibe and everything. Like, you know, people can just the light can go off at any time. I wish I could even take a pic, like take you on a tour of how the room looks, So electricity achaba, the English yaka yacha. It's literally dark everywhere, even outside. Welcome to Mpumalanga, Bonolo. In South Africa. George, are you able to join? If George is able to join. Oh, God. Let me see. Imagine if I had invited someone, like, you know, I don't even know who. Let's say I had texted Anele Mdoda and said, hey, Anele, I want you to check out this guy. He's this good, wara wara. And I'm like, 7 o'clock, we're going live. Come 7 o'clock. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, ne? I love South Africa. I love it. They don't care a damn. Yo, everything. You are so right. Everything. Like right now, I don't know. Did who's the Facebook guy? Mark Zuckerberg. Did he also take the option to add people on the live? Because it's not there. I'm not able to add you, and you're not able to join. Like, who's busy taking these things away from us? Yo! Yer! 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 You guys, today you are listening to radio, I'm telling you. Today there's no live. Let me add, let me see. Did you guys see my eyes? Something reflected and I saw my eyes on the camera. Did you guys see them as well? George. No, George. I wish I could see your face. Or at least something. And we don't even have technical team here. Yeah. Yeah, man. Yes. Um, um, I thought Limpopo was like, you know, I thought Limpopo was underperformance, but so far, just the 2 days in Boomerang, I'm being shown the one side of Limpopo. Like, but you guys can see me, Mus. Eh? You can see. Do you see that movement on the camera? Do you see it? Yeah, guys, that's me. You guys saw my eyes. Yeah, we are going somewhere. Um, if this thing can just allow me to add George, then we're gonna have the best night ever. Cause trust me when I say this guy is the next um biggest host of George, stop it. He's the next best host for something similar to the Daily Show. I still like the concept of the every couple of days show, and it's quite a it's quite a hilarious. Okay. It looks like I just needed to give this time, so let me give it just a little bit more time, and then um once it's set, we're going. Let me give it just a little bit more time. I think we just need, you know, how these things can take time. Everything in South Africa, even technology, we can speak about it being a very fast paced, you know, thing. But when it comes to South Africa, it will surely slow down. It will adjust. So I see that some of the things are adjusting on their own. Yeah. George. Can't even light a match. It wasn't the meds, trust me. It was probably my eyes or something. Like, yo, yo, yo. Way. I think this is by far the best moment I've ever had. I know, like, usually I'll have, like, oh, this live was very, but this is the best live for me. Like, you know what? This takes the cup because I'm just here. Ah. Guys, please help me out. Um, how do I bring? I didn't light any match, guys. I know at all. How do I bring George on? Because usually there'll be like the people that are watching. I would see them at the top right corner of the phone, of the screen, right? And then to my left it will say live and the number of people watching. And then usually at the bottom of the screen there are those options, and then there will be one where it says add. But now there's no option for that. There's analytics, there's the effects, there's the stickers, the the option for changing the view. Oh, there we go. I think I figured it out. Yay! Let me see if we can join, if we can add him. I hope he joins, because, that's going to be lit. This is what lit you wish.
Yes.
My 2000.
The
Oh my
electricity.
God,
China with electricity.
bring in the light, George. At least you guys can see a little bit of me.
Listen, I can see you now. At the very least, well, you can see me. I can say
So,
maybe let you light that match again.
I didn't have any light at all.
Puteko heard it too. Puteko also heard it. We all heard it. Mara, in solidarity,
Let's
we
go.
will also make it a little bit.
Man, how are you?
I'm good at you.
I'm great, man. You know what I wanted to start with? Ding, ding, ding. Tell us a joke.
Guys.
Because
Only during work hours. Only during work hours do we do that.
really, people say to you, tell us a joke at work? Or
No. They don't. That's why I'm like, only during work hours of the every couple of days show, I will only
yes.
be funny then.
But other than that, you're a normal person, which I have hard time accepting that.
Ow. Fella, you were there when people were failing. I say people, I don't want to say me.
Sure. And we saw a lot of people failing, hey, George, in our time, like people were failing.
Hey, we saw them. Not were them, saw them.
We saw them, and you
We
know
saw
what?
them.
University is such an easy peasy, a walk in the park.
I saw them and I felt bad. I felt for them that, I wish I could help them pass like I was passing. Like I was just tasting everything. I just couldn't understand.
Oh man. The every couple of days show. Why did you choose that name?
Wait. Let's acknowledge that we're having the first load shedding interview. I don't think I'll ever have another load shedding interview in my life. This is amazing. This is amazing. Wait again, you changed the game. Ramaphosa can't hold you down.
No, I just needed to prove to him that, you know what, even in the darkness.
No, the every couple of days show. Um, I'd been playing around with names for a while, and obviously, I had the idea of the show came from, the Daily Show, the late shows, the late shows, and you can only do
Mm.
so much with more late babangata. So I thought, look, it's a YouTube show. I edited myself, so hey, it's not going to be daily, and it's not going to be
Yeah.
nightly. So every couple of days, perfectly.
Were you not inspired by maybe having a day job and many other things that you're putting your hands in?
I'm gonna say yes. That one sounds better. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that one. Yeah, exactly. I mean, day job, you know. Finish it off. Give me some more. And it sounds like
Because I
give
know,
me some.
George, I know that you have, I don't know what happened to the shoe brand, but you had a shoe
Hey,
at some
shoe
point.
brand.
No,
Me shoe.
what
I
was it?
wanna.
What?
Ah, you're thinking of King Quena brand. That
Yeah.
wasn't mine, but we claim it by proxy.
Oh, okay. It wasn't yours, but
No.
uh, and I thought it was yours. I'm like, yeah, man, what is it that he hasn't done? He went to university, he did that, he got jokes, he turned them into, source of income. What else has he not done?
No, now that I think of it, maybe I should start one. Kila televo trip, levo party. Let's see.
Yo. Next thing you know, you are on radios and all of these media houses just going, hey, yo, man, I want to motivate young people. George.
Yeah,
We want
young kids
to
from
see.
Ekasi. I want to motivate young kids from Ekasi to live their dreams. We live in a world that's just, it's got so much opportunity, but for a young black child who's struggling,
Yeah.
it's so tough. I guess that's how they say it. That's am I nailing it so far? That's the usual vibe of what
on
they
the
say.
on the mind, and they're like, the kids in Africa. You remember? Kana ba re ke mang ola wa bolela ka dif- a re- he saw a child in Soweto playing on the back of a pig, something like that, along those lines.
Listen, it's one hell of a story. It's one hell of a story.
Yeah.
Mara, I don't know how many black kids are riding pigs. So,
Because I'm still getting used to Bumalaga, maybe I'll see one, I'll spot one, and I'll take a picture. Say, guys,
can I just say this is so weird because I don't know where to look. I have no idea where I'm looking right now. Okay, I'll just look into the camera. It's fine. It's
George,
fine.
this is what we call
Light up
that.
matches only. Light up matches. That's what you need to do right now.
I'll not mention. Let me see if the situation can be better if I do. Is that better?
Wow, that's better. That's slightly better. That's slightly better.
That's the best I could do. I hate them. Yo. This is one of the reasons why man, yes, sis. You could just write a DM to the president's account and be like, Joe Marawai, like, in fact, I can't write you formally.
Akira says he's always shocked. For all shock, I don't know, but he tends to not know
He's,
what's happening. The choice of words, even just the choice of words, shows you what he thinks.
yeah, yeah, sure. And so, George, when it comes to your comedy, um, what are you doing it for, man? Because there's also the debate going on where comedy has died, or that it's about to die, or that it's not sustainable. So what would be your reason for, I don't know, pursuing it? That's the if that's what
I
you're
think
doing.
it's just I think it's just an expression thing. I think you're given talents and things that you can do, and I think I view it. There's so much that I do on the show that I view it more than just the comedy aspect. I edit, I had to learn lighting, camera settings, all of that stuff. So it's for me, it's just an expression of myself. And in terms of comedy dying, I think what had happened was that comedy had gone down one specific route and it was very clean cut and all of that stuff. But now you're starting to see more people coming out and doing more things. So I think for
Sure.
me, it's more of expression of myself, but it's also just to be able to give people just a couple of minutes where you don't have to worry too much about everything. Like you go to work and holy salary is not nice. You go anywhere, you're afraid of walking outside at night because crime. You're afraid of this. Wait till South Africans, we think so hard about every single
You
thing, and it's just nice to be able to give 5 minutes for everybody to just relax, laugh a little, maybe laugh at some of our problems, laugh at overseas problems, because that's another thing. You think that
yeah.
South Africa only faces problems, but just some relief. I think that's the biggest thing that I want to do, that I'm doing.
Speaking speaking of the international, looking at other problems from other countries,
Mm,
um, do you have to do research, or is it just a thing of let me check what Congo Twitter is saying. Let me check what
mm,
Nigeria. I mean, I know it's research, but it's just I don't know what to call it. I don't see it as an in-depth
mm.
research as opposed to saying knowing who they are and all of that. So yeah,
I think the one big thing is
do you
that
have?
the one thing that I've had to develop is, firstly, you have to have a keen sense of what's happening generally in the world, whether it's like pop culture
Oh,
or news or things like that. And I consume a lot of media just in general. And I see a lot of things like just daily. Maybe you'll watch ENCA and see something, then you'll watch a popular movie and see those things. But my team and I, George Tepo, we work very hard. No, I'm kidding, just me. But a typical week for me is a typical week for me coming up to the show is I spend the week collecting stories. So I
uh,
literally have it on my laptop on my Chrome where it's just
mm,
the different news sites, uh, local and international, and then I
mhm.
collect stories. So I'll collect maybe 30 stories throughout the
Yeah,
week, and then when it comes down to a Sunday, I'll sit down and I'll write according to the stories and what I see that's funny or what's happened in popular media and things like that. And then we'll write jokes about it.
sure.
So sometimes the jokes are based on things that happen. Sometimes the jokes are based on a mannerism of the guy. Sometimes it's just a funny situation, but there is
Yeah.
some work that goes into finding the stories.
Okay. But also just accept that you're funny, bro. If nobody ever told you, I'm gonna tell you now, you are hilarious. Like
I
I
didn't
remember
want to
what
say, I didn't want to say, tell her I'm funny. And then everybody's looking at me like, yeah, bro.
you
Wait, till you're all right. You're all right. So I'll take. I
yeah.
receive.
Have you
I
ever
receive.
network?
Come on. Ronar Tsonyike network kamo. My president loves me, hey. Yeah, like we even starting to speak like him
He
because
likes
like he loves us, hey.
he,
He's a good oak. He's a good oak. He's a good oak.
no man. You must be having his number on speed dial and you're just out here like, oh no, he likes us. I don't know a new way. Well,
I
there's
can
also
neither confirm nor deny that
but
statement.
you don't want to get yourself in trouble.
you know,
And the
guys,
next thing, someone's like, hey, George, can you please speak to the president on my behalf? Hey,
you
because it
guys
can
call him
get wild.
president, I call him Cyril. You know, yeah. You gotta say it with the inflection. Cyril.
Tell me something.
Uh,
Um, have have you ever tried any other kind of media except the YouTube to maybe be on radio or TV show or something? Have you ever even auditioned for stuff?
Actually, no. Actually, no. Like, you'd be surprised. I've got the Every Couple of Days show. I've got Overthinking Football that I also do. That's my sports channel on TikTok mostly, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this guy said I came in speaking on some Zimbabwean accent. This man just out of the blue, my guy. But it's fine. But it's fine.
Oh, let me-
62.
no, it's a lady. It's a lady.
Kipute. Out of Zimbabwe. Evan. No, but it's
Whatever.
fine. No, I've never auditioned for anything. Like, believe it or not, everything happens in my little living room. I shoot all of my videos from
Mm-hmm.
here. I'm still getting used to going out into the outside world with this stuff. So I haven't tried radio. I had a podcast for a bit, but I'm really enjoying the
Yeah,
medium that I'm doing now and the freedom that I have. Uh,
sure. What were you talking about on your podcast?
no, it was a football podcast. It was a football podcast, you know.
Oh,
Yeah, one day I'll start a conspiracy theory one. It's going to be amazing.
hey, hey. Njani bo-
It's going to be amazing. I,
Okay, but I have to trust you on that one because, yeah, I see a question here. Ne? Can you see that question? Because I'm gonna put on my glasses. Bro, do you do your videos all by yourself? He did say he does them all by himself, right? Right, George?
Mm,
And
yes.
then how to market your
No, hey, let me have my moment. I'm a whole team, guys. I write, I direct, I shoot, I edit, I cut up. I'm just
yeah.
amazing. No, I'm kidding. No, yeah, currently,
But wait,
hey, these things are expensive to bring in 100 different people to work on a show. So for now, it's me. Luckily, I have the skill sets to carry a lot of the stuff. Some days
mm,
it's tough, but it is what it is. Uh, and then how do you market your content? It's mostly through socials. Like I said, with the football one, that's my big platform.
mm,
On TikTok, I've got 8,000 odd fans. With this one, I'm honestly still learning about the marketing and doing all of that stuff. It's a whole nother
sure.
discipline. So I'm learning. I'm learning. But yeah, I
Yeah,
I, I do everything myself. Thanks for the compliment there. Thank you.
sure. Who do you look up to? Or do you have a role model that inspires you in the comedy space?
Oh, obvious. Trev. He showed us everything
There!
you can do. He showed us everything you can do.
Yeah,
As he tells us all the time. As he tells us all the time. Young boy from Soweto made it to New York, riding lions and pigs on the
mm.
streets of Diepkloof. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No, but Trevor is the bar.
George,
There isn't
that's
somebody.
attempted. That's
Okay.
yeah,
You
yeah,
guys, you're gonna love mine. You're gonna love mine. My story is going to be
yeah.
amazing. I had a pet giraffe. Uh, it was so good. It was so good. Always bothered by hyenas. But that's good. That's in South Africa.
Where did you? This brings us
Life in South Africa.
um, this brings us to our next question, which is then tell us about your background, because here you are talking about the giraffe beast, George. So where did you grow up? What kind of um, I don't want to say, yeah, socioeconomic background, roughly. How did it look like?
I grew up in a township in South Africa. A small Gauteng township called Kwatema. And it was. it was humble upbringings. You know, we weren't the richest people in the world, but we weren't necessarily poor. But the poverty that you could see on our doorsteps, you know, just motivated me to want to do more with my life. You know, and it was rooted in my dad coming from Kwakwa. You know, it's the one with
Yeah.
the Q, the click with the Q, in the Free State, and you know they just taught me. You know, my mother always taught me to just carry. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm from Kotema in Springs, Gauteng Township.
Yes.
Two-parent household. Um, we weren't poor, like we weren't
Okay.
rich either. We were like, you know, varsity showed me that there's no, hey,
You really were.
hey,
You were the guy that
hey, it
rallied
showed us.
for, ne?
Yeah,
You rallied behind Fismas Fall, didn't you?
yeah. When I don't want to get arrested 6 years later. When I ring now,
The
you know, but
conversation.
I grow. Wait, Kimo, hi, wait.
No,
Do
I'm
you
just
want to
saying.
be a comrade? I've been
But
running away from being a comrade my whole life. When now, but like a comrade now. KSKP, let's on YouTube. I'm not.
but I will cancel. I can't live behind.
I'm not. Uh-uh.
But
No,
cancel. Yeah, we talk about Charas.
hey, listen. No, and then I'll just say family, two-parent household. I went to a really good semi-government, semi-private school, and my comedy is rooted in a lot of. I love sarcasm and things like that. So when I was little, I was watching, "But whose line is it anyway?" You know, things like that. Even as I got older, I don't know if you guys know the guy who was before Trevor, John Stewart. John Stewart is one of my
Yeah, yeah.
big inspirations for what I do or what I want to do. So I think I've always had that. That's what I've had.
Yeah. So did you ever at any point in your life have aspirations to break out in comedy? Or you also had the mentality of, no, I should go to school and have a profession
Mm.
and then
Do you know what's crazy, man? I think of myself as that 30-year-old guy who had talents and all of that when I was young, but didn't really go and pursue them as much. Like you said, we were pressured to go to school and pressured to get degrees and stuff like that. But I am glad of going to varsity because it opened my eyes up to a lot of different things. But it was one of
yeah.
those situations where I'd given up on a lot of stuff, and it wasn't necessarily comedy. Comedy is something that I am good at, and I can write and I understand it. But in general, I'm a creative person. So we did the varsity thing and all of that, and now I'm thinking to myself, you know what? Why not go and do these things? Why not, if the talent's there? Why restrict yourself? You know, unlike my friends who maybe played soccer and then had to go do accounting, and they were really good soccer players, but then let it go. Stuff like the things that I do and the talents I have don't necessarily have a date, or I can't blow out my knee. You know.
Sure. Sure. Okay, I got this. Do you want anything? All right. So
You want the light. You want the light back. It's fine. Just say it. It's okay. It's okay.
I really want the light back. Hey, I feel like, part of me is like, yo, Mutibaka, when is the light coming back? But here we are. I got this. Also, generally, George, what do you think of comedy in South Africa? I know we have social media. For me, let me tell you what I think, and then you will tell me what.
Okay.
What I see is I'll have one good joke, and then I'll open, a social media account of some, and then I just keep it at that. And I just feel like somehow we're recycling jokes, or we're recycling the same themes, and I want to know how you see comedy today in South Africa or even in Africa generally. Because I feel like, yeah, no, guys, at some point we outgrow the jokes about how your mom would respond to you doing
Mm,
what, jokes, those kind of
mm.
jokes. So I would want to know what comedy, because you are in that space.
I'm in two minds. I'm in two minds about it.
Okay.
And I'm in two minds about it
Mm,
because as somebody who creates content now, you start realizing that
mm.
South Africans have patterns, right? So
Oh, yeah.
you might think that that joke is getting old, but
Yeah.
you start creating content and you tell new jokes and you find out, oh, hi guys, actually those old things, like those jokes are the ones that hit and get everything. Like for example, I've had to learn that in essay specifically,
Yeah.
we don't care much about multi-layered jokes that have callbacks and things like that. Like if you watch, for example, Trevor's shows
Mm,
overseas, type of
yeah.
jokes that he's making on the Daily Show, it's very well on the Daily Show. It's very layered, and there's sarcasm and da da da, and then it's a lot happening. But he also knows that when I come back here, I just need to say Ramaphosa, and it will light up. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I only have to say Zuma one or two times. It doesn't even have to be funny. You know what's funny? What I've realized is that South Africans love drama. Oh, they rata
Sure.
drama. So the moment I talk
You
about
got
load
us.
shedding, it doesn't even need to be funny. So it's about balancing those things because in my creative mind, I want to do crazy things. But then I'm also like, okay, Peppo, remember your market, remember who you're talking to, remember what you're trying to build. And once I've taught my audience or gone through that process, then I'm sprinkling them in right now. And I believe I'm doing things a bit differently than others. But the nice thing about me is that I don't have to write an entire 1 hour set. Every week there's new news, and
Sure.
every week I write new stuff, so I can take it wherever I want to go. And I think that freedom for me, I'm still new to this, or I'm still small in the space, so that freedom to me is still amazing.
Sure. What are you building with comedy?
What am I building? You, hey, you're
Yeah.
asking so many tough questions. What am I building? To be
Our
honest with
George.
you,
Get
right, right.
building.
No, right now, to be honest with you, I don't know because there's so many avenues where you can take
Oh,
it. You know, for me, I'd love to get to a point where I can sustain myself with the comedy. I can leave my job and
mhm.
all of that stuff, and then I can focus full time on then building the stuff. Like I have a lot of crazy big ideas and things that I want to do, but I'm realizing that there's a lot of stages. So for now, let's see where it takes
Mm,
us. But I do believe that if I keep the quality up and things like that, we should be fine.
mhm.
Of course, if Trevor's bag,
Sure.
if that bag can fit in the
Monde is
pocket,
asking a question.
uh, what is your opinion on the standard of comedy in our country? Do we have comedians that can take the world, own the world like Trevor? Do you know what's funny, man? I think the funny thing about South African comedy, and I believe, is that you have all the comedians who are established. They've got
Yeah.
the structures behind them. They've got the managers. They've got all that stuff. And I feel like South Africa as an industry is somewhere where you need to have a lot of backing and a lot of doors, people who can open doors for you. So for
Um,
me, you're going to keep seeing the same guys. It's the same with music in South Africa. It's the same with a lot of things where you'll keep seeing the same guys because they'll keep calling the same people, right? Whereas sometimes you'll watch people in America and all that where they get funny and it's allowed for other types of funny to break in easier, you know. Whereas with us, you have to really build, and it's pretty much the same people, right? Even Trevor is a flash in the pan type story, But if you read about Baltimore and its history and all of that, you'll see that there was a lot of people that had to open doors, and I think once we can get those things easier, once we can make it easier for other types of comedy and other types of comedians to break in, you know what I mean, and to be able to sustain themselves, I think we'll see a lot of changes.
Sure.
Mm.
Do we have comedians that can take on the world like Trevor? So I guess you were also trying to answer that question as well, right?
Yeah, so I think we do. I think we do. But it's that situation of do we have do we have really good soccer players? And it's like,
Uh,
yes, but are they going to get the chance to go to the levels to get picked, to get seen? And I think
mm,
it's up to communities and people like that to build it. But to shorten the answer, yes, we do have the qualities and all of that. We do have comedians who can take on the world. It's just that there's a group of people that always get the tenders and always
yes.
get the limelight. You see the same people all the time. And once we grow past that, I think we change everything.
And just to add on, what you're saying, the likes of Trevor Noah, Kibu George, like, bro, your standard is at that level, hey? Because
Amen.
you come
Amen.
prepared for your YouTube channel and I'm like, hey, this guy, hey man,
Uh,
starting out, we always just, I'll give myself as an example. When I started the live sessions, I was just like, I'm just gonna switch on and then we go on air and we talk. Even when I was
mm,
preparing for radio interviews, it was always a thing of I secure the interview and then we talk, we prepare and then we
mm,
go on. But you go on YouTube, we are spoiled for choice on YouTube,
mm,
and
mm,
it's so hard to spot a South African talented person because everyone is just gonna come in and say, "Hey guys, so this week, if it's a gentleman,
mm,
he's gonna come in and do whatever." And so
mm.
that level of preparation, that branding, and like I actually believe that you have a team joke because I was like, yeah, no, man, that's why.
Uskam
The
flashy,
works,
like it's like
and you
load
even
shedding
have a.
to hide me, but it's fine. It's okay.
They
It's
should have
okay.
switched you. I think this would have been the coolest interview had we had load shedding the both of us.
Mm,
For people to see just how African children are trying to break out, even
mm.
even when the harshness of their realities are not favorable.
Listen, let me just see.
Monday.
Okay,
Um,
let me answer that question. I don't think you've answered. What's the standard of comedy in your country? Okay, if without background and all that, I think it's not very high, to be honest with you.
oh,
I think there's not enough competition to make sure that we have a high standard. And it just links back to what I said about you'll see the same people. Like sometimes you'll be watching people, and I don't want to sound like bad. Sometimes you'll be watching people and you'll be like, it feels like you're also figuring this thing out, but you
sure.
got the chance. You got the chance to be out there, and you can't knock
Mm,
anybody. But I think we're at a mid-level of comedy. Um, but again, I think it goes back to that thing, two things. It's about competition, but also it's about um, if if people are laughing and it's opening doors, I'm gonna keep doing the same thing. When Trevor comes back, like Trevor's
oh,
got a tour right now that's next year. When he comes back, you trust and believe he's going to be doing pretty much the same jokes that he did because he understands that this is the audience. Sometimes you have to do what the audience wants.
mm,
Mm.
sure, sure. Hey man, have you tried asking out for, being the opening act for Trevor Noah or something, hosting his upcoming tour?
Hey, the thing is, it's very weird because I'm by all means a YouTube comedian. Like I'm by all means I don't have sets. I've never written a set in my life. I have that it's a show. This is my show. Um Now, if would I take Trevor's chair? Who knows? Who knows? Universe. But I don't think
Say it out.
it's two things for me. Né? One, I'm still learning the side of the business where what is effective
Oh,
reaching out, what is effective this and that, like Rona rumela the
mm,
email and things like and how, what, where, things like that. That's the first thing. And then secondly, I think that it's not necessarily my
sure.
lane. Maybe the hosting could be good, but it's not necessarily the lane that I'm in, if that makes sense. If it was to do like a video special and he needed people to do like
Yeah,
on his next Netflix release, he needs people to do sections. I'm down. I'm in front of the cameras, turn on the lights, and I'll kill it. You know. But
sure.
in
I
terms
know
of
that one for sure.
that stuff,
Sure. And then speaking, I get you have the YouTube channel, but you also have the TikTok
mm.
uh, account where you speak about soccer now.
Wait, somebody has put up
Oh,
which is not about Dua
somebody
Lipa.
asked the oh yes, there we go. Okay, so the question, I went back to the question. What do you think of Dua Lipa? Maybe you might get together with the likes of her, just aspirational. Okay, there we go. That's another question.
I mean, she's she's okay. No, well, unfortunately, Tinabanye, no, unfortunately, fortunately, we're off the market. I'm very happily taken and loved and love. Dua Lipa looks great, but what I would love is to be able to access those type of people for my own purposes. Maybe I start interviewing, who knows? But having access to those people would be amazing. Uh, I don't want to say anything because she's listening next door. So this
Okay.
kachambisa.
Yeah.
Eh?
Rokwe, rokwe.
Yeah. Yo. Monde. I jumped that question so nicely. When Angie, you want me to not have a home?
Vele, George Lynn. Ke ikevile, wabona? Ke ikeva ka re no. It will be answered inside. Maramondeen.
Hey,
Mr.
hi.
decided, no, we are going to bring it back.
Wabana
All right.
Monde is the guy you
All
don't
right,
call.
George.
You don't call Monde when it's been a very nice night and you've been doing very weird things, and you're like, Monde, please tell her where I was last night. He'd probably be like, that makes sense. Ole kwako strip club, and then it becomes awkward. So at least I know.
Monday. We've been warned.
Hey,
Sure. We were still on the TikTok TikTok thing, marking TikTok topic. Your TikTok content, soccer and stuff. Which one of your YouTube or TikTok, which one gave you a break, or maybe a what you were not expecting kind of a break?
Definitely the football. Definitely the football, because most of what I speak about there is local stuff. So I didn't realize that there was such an underserved market in terms of local football, speaking about stuff, and there were so
Oh,
many people just crying out for that. Kalahari, like that TV, only see Champions League and English Premier League and stuff like that. And there's really a big market for that type of stuff,
yeah.
right? I think with the Every Couple of Days show, honestly, I'm still in the process of educating my audience, but also I'm in the process of, it's two very different markets. Like, it's two very different markets.
Oh,
Helawani Tebza Kokasi
Mm.
of the Pirates. The other one is like Lonnie. It's mostly the feedback I'm getting. It's a lot of Lonnie people, you know, like who speak with accents,
Mm.
even white people. So hey, it's balancing those two. Like I understand Tebza, and the other side, I'm trying to get Tebza to
Yeah,
understand what I'm doing. But you know, Jacques is jumping in, and it's like, okay, we have to try and balance that. But definitely the football. Definitely the football. That's my most followed.
sure. Have you,
By far. That's my most followed.
okay, it being the most followed, have you been interviewed about it or called to host something? Something yana, Georgia. What's for something yana? Something brown envelope.
Why does it have to be brown? Why can't it be an offer? Ah, guys. Ah, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Did
No,
they do they invite you? Like, okay, I'm gonna leave that. Should I leave that one?
why are you talking about brown envelopes here? I just need to. Oh, my phone's about to die. Yeah,
No, no, no.
Tina,
Of course not.
chat. I'm just saying. I'm just putting it out there. I'm just putting it out there. No, but it's one of those situations where, oh, with TikTok, I recently did some work for TikTok South Africa. They've been really good to me.
Yeah,
They've placed me in one of their programs where they're
sure.
trying to build local creators. So they've been super good to me. Just did a paid gig for
Yeah,
them about a week ago, and yeah, we're starting to get there because I'm a very my niche is very strong. In that there's not that many
yeah.
people who are doing what I do, you know.
Mm.
So that's always a good thing. But yeah, we're starting. We're getting there. They're teaching us about contracts. They're teaching us about invoicing. They're teaching us. They're giving us tips and all of that stuff. So I'm learning. I'm learning. Soon, soon, the bag
Nice.
is going to be the bag. It won't be brown. Although we can get brown too. It's okay. It's fine.
And George, you know, I'm looking at you plugging in your charger after your load
Mm,
shedding joke.
mm.
Uh, I mean, you couldn't be more sarcastic, would you?
I mean, you know, it's just you might say that the
Privileged
comedy is
people.
electric. You might say the comedy is just it's
Yeah.
electric. I'm shocked
And
that you're in your situation,
you know,
and I can be shocked because, well, lights. But sequel up.
bruh, why are you not hosting the show already? Because you're literally funny, bruh. And here's the
I'm
thing,
just saying.
you have a serious, but you also have a
Yes,
serious side, right?
I'm working on
Sure,
it. I'm working on it.
No,
You're
you
gonna
have
see
a
me over
serious side.
when I host like this. I'm killing you guys.
Then you,
Why it's about top billing?
then you,
Why it's about to your mark?
yeah, yeah.
Yes. If you ever see me do this in a show, you must know
Then,
that no, you're about to get serious right now.
yeah. Monde says, what is it that needs to be done to improve or better the comedy scene in Mzansi?
Kind of never ring for acting, open up the industry. You just need to have more guys getting more of the opportunity. And I think a lot of what happens with TV and the brands and all of that, they tend to keep going back to the same people. They've got the relationships and things like that. And I think you need to open it up so that there's more competition within the scene. You know, I think iron sharpen iron,
Oh,
get better better. You'll see people get better. Like you see of the people that we see every day that maybe we might think they're mid or whatever. The moment they're not getting the opportunities and they need to go back to the drawing board, it's one thing. But also when you start bringing more people on board, I think you also need to diversify the type of comedy, you know, that is brought. Like you said earlier, you know, we are used to one type of comedy. Then we wonder why Trevor had to go overseas and really that he's doing now, the comedy that he does when he's elsewhere, you know, because you just need to, you know, we just need to open up. We need to open up and give more people opportunities, and you'll see the level improve. Do we still have much comedy clubs, especially outside of Gauteng? I'm actually not sure. The tough thing is that, like, I fall under comedy, but I'm not necessarily a comedian.
Before we go to the
sorry.
Before we go on the questionnaire comedy clubs, I wanted to say perhaps just to see if I understood you correctly.
Yes.
Are you inferring competition should be encouraged as a way to open the industry? Is that what you're saying?
We should open the industry so that there's more competition, if that makes sense. And especially the pay, because like some of us do this part-time, strictly part-time. So when I'm editing for 3 hours, I still have to wake up tomorrow and go to work, right? Whereas if I could,
sure.
I'm still early. I'm still very early. I'm not saying that I'm at the level, but it's like once you can give guys like me, other people who do different types of comedy and things like that, avenues to get out there properly and things, and the outward facing stuff, like the brand deals, the TV shows, all of that stuff. When they start looking at everybody else, you'll see things improve. But we're going to see the same. We're going to see the same faces.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
And so now on the comedy clubs, what were you saying? Do we still have them?
The tough thing is that I'm not necessarily a club comedian. So I'm not in the scene like that. Like, you know, I'm not doing open mics. My open mic is done from the comfort of my living room. I can go to the bathroom when I want and cut and come back tomorrow. You know, I'm not a comedian in that sense. So, yeah, I'm the wrong person to.
Speaking of creating in the comfort of your, you know, space, Brad, take me through your creative process. Did you have a time where, I don't know what a comedian in the comedy space they would call it, but people who write, they call it a writer's block. Did you have any of that? And any other challenges that you had that you know, obviously saw yourself being tested to the core, but found a way to, I don't know, to like switch back on?
Yeah, almost weekly. But I think the thing is, for me, it's more of being, okay, so when I started this, I was just a dude who thinks he's funny and he's got a show. Then I watched some comedians speak. I don't know if you know Andrew Schultz and his crew. There's these American comedians. They have podcasts and things like that. And one of the things that one of the guys said there, Akash said, was that you have to learn how to study this thing. So what would happen in the beginning was that if I wasn't funny this week, if the funny bundles were finished, that was it. I couldn't record, I couldn't do anything. Then as I started learning, you start learning that the structure is sometimes more important than the funny. And sometimes you can find the funny in the structure. So you're able to, okay, hey, this week as Kali, but I understand that I have X amount of joke structures. I can plug these things in so that at least I keep myself going for the week. But it happens a lot. It happens. juggling everything. Sometimes you're just tired. Sometimes it's been a long day, long week at work. You come home, learn. So whoever's listening to this, it will happen. It will happen that you're going to go through the block, but treat this like it's a science. The way I tell jokes now and the way I structure things makes it easier for me to repeat it every week. And it's not just a talent thing. As they always say, talent is one thing, but you have to work hard at some point to put things together and stuff like that. So treat it as a thing, and you'll be able to get past most of that stuff.
Yeah. At what point does comedy get political, or it's not political ever?
It's very political. It's very political.
Okay.
It's got to do with the choices that you want to make as well. Like there's some jokes that I would love to tell, but I'm afraid of being cancelled, or I'm afraid of what might happen if I blow up the wrong way, and maybe that's something that's stalling stuff, but it's things that you have to take into account. Then you have the actual politics of it. If you watch US television, you have to pick a side in order to be successful. You have to be one way or the other to be successful. So there's choices that you make within the comedy, whether I'm going to offend people this time, whether I'm going to do this right, whether I should be covering this. Like, for example, I face that a lot when I'm covering South African news. I don't want to just speak about the ANC and the government and all those people. I have to find ways to bring in the DA. I have to find ways to bring in the EFF so that at least I'm objectively fair across the board, and I don't want to be pigeonholed into the guy who's always going against the ANC or the guy, things like that. But it is extremely political in terms of the sense of being political, but also just political in the way that the content you choose to put out,
Yeah, sure. Do you have a journal of jokes? Do you keep a journal, or it's a thing of, here's an idea, it hit me, let me record, and then I'll come back to it when, one day when I'm fine, I'm back, I'm able to deliver it and finish it?
I don't have a journal of jokes, but I have a bunch of segments in my show that I want to add and do properly. So I feel like right now I can't do them justice because I can't do, at the current moment, I can't do a 30-minute show every week. But there's a ton of things that I want to put into the show once I've grown a bit. And I test them out every now and then. If you watch a lot of my videos, you'll see me test out different things. But I don't have a journal, but I am a person who, if I have an idea now, I am blessed enough to be able to action ideas very quickly. Especially, I'm good at design. I'm good at stuff like that. So it's not hard for me to action an idea, but I do want to do big things just later on down the line.
I think I'm gonna take the last two questions, really.
Yeah.
And then we have to wrap it up. But how would freelancing in comedy look like? And then they say starting off the career, and how could it affect the future of your career? Yeah. And then Monde, okay, so that was Potero. Then Monde says, do comedians hide their racism, tribalism, sexism, etc. through their comedy? Okay, interesting.
Okay. Hey.
Zuma?
Let's start with the first one. How would freelancing? I think for me, the nice thing about where we're at right now is that I don't necessarily have to freelance. So what I'm focused on is building a community that can later on, there's things like subscriptions now, there's things like doing all that stuff where you don't necessarily have to, again, be out in the clubs every day, asking for 5 minutes, telling jokes, bombing and stuff like that. I can do that weekly on YouTube and YouTube, TikTok, whatever platform, and shoot it out you can be sustained from those things. That's the nice thing about now, is that I don't necessarily have to be a Trevor and have the Daily Show approach me and give me the bag. If they want to, I mean, you're welcome. But if they don't want to, we can still build successful careers. I watch these, hey, these new kids, but 2000 and what they're doing with the internet